Hi guys, good day, man. I just got done creating that intro video. I'm having a lot of fun today. It's on Saturday, the first Saturday of the new year, um, and would like to know if you would like to know how I'm doing all these graphics. I'd like to show you a few things if you don't mind. Really wish I could bring somebody on. It's a lot better when I can bring somebody on and we can talk about what they're looking for. I'd actually like to create somebody's graphic or logo for you if you're out there and you're needing something done. Maybe we can work together on it here live. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to. But I use several different softwares to create the stuff that you see here on the page. For instance, this right here is a brand here. Um, basically, right here you see Jonathan Ribble. Now I'm going to talk about goals too in this. That's what I thought I was talking about, but goals this year. And have you reached your goals? But anybody that would like to learn how so now I talked about goals, and have you started your New Year's resolution this year, guys? And I always say, without a revolution, resolution won't take hold. In order for your resolution to take hold, you have to have a revolution. I mean, that is, and Dennis Waitley, renowned psychologist, said when you are 30 years of age, you have 262,300 hours of mental conditioning. Well, I have a few more hours because I'm a little bit beyond 30. So if you're under or over, you just figure it out. At 30 years of age, think about it, 262,000 hours of mental conditioning. That boggles the brain. It really does. So you have to determine what you want first and foremost. You have to determine what you want more than anything. You know, I like this. I have a poem on my desk. Let me just share it with you quickly. It says, if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, work day and night for it, give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it, if only desire of it makes you quite mad enough never to tire of it, makes you hold all other things tawdry and cheap for it, if life seems all empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and you dream is about it, if gladly you'll sweat for it, fret for it, plan for it, lose all of your terror of man for it, if you simply go after the thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength, and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famished, and gaunt, nor sickness, nor pain of body or brain can turn you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and you beset it, the help of God, you'll get it. I mean, that's a powerful thing, but it's gotta be a goal that's so exhilarating that it excites you and it scares you at the same time. One that's so in tune with your mental and spiritual core that you'll willingly dedicate all of your waking hours and resources to its attainment, so that you can say at the end of your life, I'm grateful, God, to the idea that used my life. So have you determined what it is that you want? Like I said earlier, before a resolution takes place, a revolution must take place. Before that resolution, because a lot of us, 95%, did you know 95% of the resolutions that are created on January 1st or New Year's Eve are over and done with by 3 o'clock January 1st? For instance, you want to lose weight. Somebody throws a piece of chocolate cake in your face. You know, you want to lose weight. Somebody you just went to a party and there's a big sheet of lasagna right there with your name on it. There's always something that is going to keep you from reaching your goal, and that is why your tenacity, your sagacity, it's got to be a white hot burning obsession. I mean, you thoughts are things, and powerful things at that, when they are mixed with a definiteness of purpose and a burning desire for their attainment. Let me say that again. Thoughts are things, when they are mixed, and powerful things at that, when they're mixed with a definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their attainment. And those three elements, most people, they might have a want, but they don't have the persistence. They don't have the capacity and the tenacity and the sagacity and the fire that burns on the inside of them. They don't have it. A lot of people say, John, how do you stay so motivational? Because I'm a WYSIWYG. What you see here is what you get. This is me all the time. And it has nothing to do what's in my bank account or what isn't in my bank account. It has nothing to do what house I live in or don't live in. It has nothing to do with the car I drive or the car I don't drive. It has nothing to do with my outward circumstances. It has everything to do with this inward passion that this is exactly what I want. This is what I will live for, and it is what I will die for. And I don't care how much it costs. I'm going to get it. Do you have such a goal? Do you have such a goal? Do you have such a goal? Are you willing to keep moving forward? So the next thing I would talk to you about is, if you determine what you want, have you set a date by when you want it? Now, it doesn't always mean that that date is going to be the accurate date, but without a deadline, without a date. For instance, if somebody came up to you and said, "Oh, he asked me," and you met the guy, and they're asking you to be either their best man or their maid of honor and all that, and you congratulate them, and then the next thing you're going to ask, especially if they ask you to be a part of the wedding, you're going to ask them, "What? When is it?" So, because if I got to buy a tux or got to buy a dress, I've got to prepare for it, got to plan for it. And they come back to you, "Well," and I've learned this, anything that starts with "well" is a deep subject. So they come back with, "Well, I don't know. We're going to give it a 3-year plan." You're like, "What the hell are you asking me for right now if I want to be your maid of honor, your best man, or be a part of your wedding for? I don't know if I'm going to be around in 3 years." So that's craziness. That's craziness. So they're either committed and they have a date and they know exactly when they're going to do it, or they're not. Your date will determine your commitment. And it can't be a date, "Well, if everything works out and the stars align." And I'm telling you, a book that I read quite often by Brian Tracy is about goals, and he says in chapter 12 on goals that when you set up a goal, you also set up for misery. You set up for failure. You set up for things. So you have to have that passion that says, "Man, I will, I can, I am, and I must." You gotta have it. You gotta have it. because everything in heaven and earth is going to come against your desire. And if your desire is not deep enough, it won't last. Okay. So set a date for when you want it. The next thing you need to do is you need to determine the service in which you're going to give in exchange for it. And here's where I pause with all of my coaches out there that are watching. Wannabe coaches, people that are going through a program to be a coach, people that are wanting to, you you must really determine in your heart of hearts that this is the thing that I will give the rest of my life for. I am not going to try this. I'm not going to try it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I will get there. I will accomplish the thing that I've set out to do if it takes the remainder of my life. Oh, what a different story people would have to say if they did what Edwin C. Barnes did when he showed up to work with Thomas Edison. He said, I want to be a business associate with Thomas Edison. He didn't say, I want to go to work for Thomas Edison. He said, I wanted to work with Thomas Edison. And when he had a few things going against him, when first of all in Orange, New Jersey, he didn't have the train ticket. He didn't have the funds for a ticket to New Jersey where he was to meet the inventor. But he shows up in front of the inventor and he puts him on notice that I'm going to go to work with you. Well, Thomas Edison later says he stood before me looking like an ordinary tramp. But there was something in the expression of his face that said, Thomas Edison saw that before. Probably he saw it when he looked in the mirror himself. It's in my face. It's the eye of the tiger. It's that passion that says, man, I got to do this. It's something that's on the inside of me. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. I can't explain it, even though it drives me up a freaking wall. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. This is what I was put on this earth to do. Well, Thomas Edison gave him a job in the Edison wheel. Now, a lot of people would say, well, he didn't go to work with Thomas Edison. He went to work for him. No, every day, Edwin C. Barnes saw himself as a business associate with, he was a business associate. He was a partner in that company. If you do more than what you're paid to do, you'll be paid more for what you do. If you go to work for someone right now and you want to have your own position someday, you treat that business owner as you want to be treated. In other words, don't sit around and complain about them because they're signing your paycheck. But you provide a service today and you work as if you're going somewhere tomorrow. But you work for someone with everything that you got within you. And you work at a spirit of excellence every day until you make the decision to move elsewhere, or till God moves you, or till the doors of opportunity open, or whatever. But if you're working for someone, treat others as you would like to be treated. So many of us as employees don't respect our employer. And you have to make the decision and move forward. But determine the service. What is it? Are you going to be in sales? Or are you going to be, you don't try sales and you don't try coaching, because there's going to be sales in coaching. You're going to have to sell your services. So you don't try sales. Anybody that's going to try sales or coaching or being a consultant, the only one that's going to be tried is you. You don't try these things. You commit to them. You commit to them. And you commit to learning. And you commit to growing. You commit to them. And then the next thing you need to do, once you've determined the service, is you need to come up with a plan. You can't just say, well, I'm going to go into sales. Well, what kind of sales? What are you going to sell? Are you going to be full-time? Or are you going to be part-time? I can tell you this. A lot of people go into network marketing. This go find two to find two to find two to find two, and they end up not working. And they talk about time freedom, and being an entrepreneur is literally jumping off the cliff and building the plane on the way down, and there's no safety net any longer. There's nothing to fall back on. You're either going to fall forward, that's because you're moving forward, but you got to come up with a systematic plan of how many calls are you going to make, are you going to be, and if you're going to be life coaching, you have to determine, okay, how am I going to find my clients? How am I going to do that? Well, if you don't know how, you need to hire a coach that will help you get that. You need to hire a sales coach. If you don't know sales, you need to hire a sales coach. I offer a program called Sales Samurai. I can teach you how to sell. I can teach you what you need to do to prospect, because as a life coach, you're probably going to be working with people that own a business, people that can afford you. So you're probably going to have to call on some businesses. You're going to have to get into some associations. You're going to have to get into, you're going to have to get speaking engagements. You're going to have to get these things. I mean, it's not just that people just come out of the woodwork. Yes, there's attractive-based marketing, but there's also action-based marketing. So, but come up with a plan. How many calls am I going to make each day? How many clients? Am I going to do group coaching? Am I going to do individual? What am I going to charge? All these things. So whatever the service is, come up with a plan to bring the service about. And then number 5, write out a life statement of how you feel now that you already have the money. Wait a minute, John. My bank account doesn't reflect the amount that I wrote down in my journal. Good. It'll keep you going and keep you hungry. Okay. So write out a life statement. But how do you feel now that you're there? Do you see yourself there? Do you see yourself invited by Tony Robbins to come and speak? Do you see yourself standing on the stage with Reed and Lecter? Do you see yourself standing on the stage with with the greats out there? Do you see yourself? Can you give them high fives? Can you see the audience? Can you shake their hand? Can you see yourself in the house, with the car, with the boat? Can you see yourself where you want to be? Because Jesus said, when you pray believing as if it's already happened, as if it's already taken place. In other words, it hasn't. He knows that. He's not telling you to be an idiot. He's not telling you to ignore the present circumstance. He's not saying, oh, don't look at your current state of affairs. He's saying, no, when you pray believing as if it's already taken place. Because I don't believe in circumstances. The person who gets on in this world is the person who finds the circumstance that he wants, and if he can't find it, he creates it. George Bernard Shaw. So the next thing you need to do first, and I think this is the most vital of all the steps, is read your statement of goals out loud twice daily. Let them sink down into your subconscious mind. Let them sink down in to your subconscious mind. And if you need somebody to kick you in your assets on a weekly basis, find a coach to do it. Make the investment. It will pay dividends. So, but read your statement of goals out loud twice daily. How do I feel? I feel so great now that I'm earning this per year. I'm operating in this service. I cannot even fathom it, but I'm speaking to crowds of thousands of people. I'm doing Zoom calls with hundreds to thousands of people. I'm transforming lives all over the world. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm internationally known. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have clients that are they're coming to me versus the other way around where I used to have to go to them. Now I've got clients coming out of the woodwork to see me, and I'm so happy and grateful for this opportunity. That is exactly what you want to do, guys. So I encourage you to hold the vision. Whatever you can hold in your head, you can hold in your hand. But once again, so you didn't miss it, determine what you want. Set a date by which you want it. Determine the service in which you're going to give in exchange for it. Connect, come up with a plan, and write out a life statement and read your statement out loud twice daily. Guys, I wish you all the greatest in 2021. Whatever it holds for you, go after it and get it. Because life is not fair. It's a storm, my friend, and it will have you basking in the sun one day, and it will have you tragically bashed against the rocks the next. And it's how you respond to the storms of life that come into your way. So I recommend that you get out on the bow of your ship and you say to the storm, do your worst, for I will yet do mine. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Jonathan Ribble. I hope this has helped. Have a great day.